Hey there, and welcome to today's Explainer. I gotta tell you, I'm absolutely pumped to have you here because we're about to unpack something literally mind-bending. Have you ever, looked up at the night sky or maybe stared across some massive, unbridgeable canyon and just wondered, how do we actually know the size of these things? We're talking about the sheer, incredible scale of measuring objects and distances that we absolutely cannot physically reach, touch, or lay a measuring tape across. I mean, it seems like magic, right? But as we're going to see today, it's actually just an incredibly elegant piece of geometry. So let's dive right into this.
So how do you calculate distances to distant stars or inaccessible landmarks? It's a massive, kind of daunting question, isn't it? But this is the very real, very practical knowledge gap that surveyors out in the rugged field and astronomers looking through their telescopes have to face every single day. Think about it. If you're standing on one side of a raging river and you need to know the exact distance to a mountain peak on the other side, or if you're trying to map the distance to a star that's literally light years away, well, you can't exactly just walk over there to check. You need a way to measure the impossible from exactly where you're standing.
And this brilliant little dilemma brings us to the core of our problem. Whenever we learn basic geometry, we usually start with right triangles. They've got that one perfect 90-degree corner, they're convenient, they're neat, and honestly, they're incredibly easy to work with. But there's a huge catch. They're super rare in nature. The physical world around us is just messy. When you connect a surveyor, a landmark, and a distant point, or say 3 distinct celestial bodies, you are almost never going to get a perfect right angle. Instead, you get non-right triangles. They're messy, they totally lack that convenient right angle to work with, but they are absolutely everywhere in the real world. So, how do we solve them?
Section 1. Defining the law, the universal skeleton key.
Since we can't rely on those easy right angles, we desperately need a mathematical skeleton key that works for every single triangle, no matter how stretched out, squished, or messy it happens to be. Enter the Law of Sines. It states that in any triangle, the ratio of the length of a side to the sine of its opposite angle is the same for all 3 sides. Now, I really want you to let that sink in for a second. It does not matter what shape the triangle is. If you take the length of one side and compare it to the sine of the angle sitting directly across from it, that ratio, that specific mathematical relationship, will be exactly the same for the other 2 sides and their opposite angles. It's a universal constant for that specific triangle.
Let's simplify that formal definition and just look at the intuition behind it. Basically, this law creates a consistent proportional relationship across the entire triangle. It means that larger angles are always opposite longer sides. And that makes intuitive sense, right? If you open an angle wider, the side connecting the 2 ends literally has to get longer to close the gap. But the law of sines doesn't just tell us it gets longer, it quantifies exactly how much longer. Because this relationship is proportional and perfectly consistent, it lets you solve for any unknown side or angle, just as long as you know enough other information about the triangle to establish that baseline ratio.
Section 2. The math in action, a proportional sandbox.
Now, don't let the math intimidate you here. Let's actually walk through a concrete example together so you can see exactly how accessible this really is. Let's say we have a messy, non-right triangle. Step 1. We identify our known pairing. Let's say we have a known side of 10 units and we look directly across the triangle to find its opposite angle, which is 30 degrees. Boom. We now have our consistent ratio for this entire triangle based on that 10-unit side and that 30-degree angle. Now, step 2. We identify a second known angle in the triangle. Let's just say it's 45 degrees. So the absolute crucial point is what we do next in step 3. Because we know the ratio we established in step 1 applies to every single side and angle pair, we can use it to directly calculate the length of the missing side opposite that 45-degree angle. By just knowing one side and 2 angles, this law literally gives you the superpower to unlock the rest of the triangle's secrets.
Section 3. Shaping our world, from blueprints to the stars.
Having this mathematical superpower, it changes absolutely everything, allowing us to build and measure the physical dimensions of our universe. I mean, massive industries absolutely rely on this mathematical tool to even function. First up, surveying and navigation. When professionals are out mapping the world or plotting a course, they use this exact law to calculate distances to points they physically cannot reach. Next, astronomy. When we want to triangulate distances to celestial objects, when we're literally reaching for the stars themselves, astronomers are using this exact proportional relationship to measure the cosmos. And it's not just about distant observation either. It's about building our everyday world. In engineering and architecture, professionals use the law of sines for solving really complex structural problems involving non-right triangles. Every single time you drive over a carefully designed bridge or look up at the intricate trusses supporting a massive stadium roof, you are looking at the law of sines in action. keeping those structures perfectly calculated and completely safe.
The law of sines is an absolute masterpiece for relating sides and angles proportionally. It's basically the key to the universe when you have a side and some angles to work with. But I want to leave you with one final, kind of provocative thought. What if you don't have those convenient opposite angles? What if you're faced with a triangle where you only know all three sides and you need to calculate the rest of the whole shebang? Well, you'll find that our trusty law of sines hits a bit of a limitation. For a more direct calculation involving all three sides, actually, for that, you're going to need the law of cosines. But hey, that is a fascinating explainer for another day. Thank you so much for exploring this with me, and definitely keep questioning the incredible world around you.